Hello, welcome to another of my comic book reviews. This week I will be reviewing the books that were released on the 3rd of October 2012. And we kick things off with the big release of the book, Avengers vs X-Men round 12, written by Jason Aaron and art by Adam Kubert. This issue sees the conclusion of this story and this mini-series. Cyclops has now got all of the Phoenix Force. He's killed Professor Xavier and has become the Dark Phoenix at last. So he's just gone totally mad. He's destroying the earth. He's going to burn the earth, and out of the ashes he's going to have something new emerge. So the oceans are boiling and buildings are on fire, and our heroes are trying to save as many people as they can, while at the same time trying to stop Cyclops. And it leads into a big smackdown with Wanda and Hope, which, and can they hold the key to beating the Phoenix Force? I liked this. I liked the resolution of the story. After the 0 issue of this book sort of really went a lot into Hope and into Wanda, and I'm glad that the end of the story really focused on them and really featured them both, in their both big character moments for them. This series very much felt to me like the final part of the Scarlet Witch trilogy, which kicked it off with Avengers Disassembled, with her descent into madness. You then had a further darkness with House of M, where she says no more mutants, it puts mutants on the brink of extinction. And then this story, you saw her return, a redemption and a return to being a hero. So I really like that whole journey that her character's gone on. I'm looking forward to seeing where we go next with this book, with this series, and I know with the Marvel Now. And that's a bit where this book's really been a great success, because going into the last 2 issues, I wasn't really looking forward to Marvel Now. It was more of an hindrance to me, with some of my favourite books being cancelled, or artists and writers who I liked on certain books being moved. So it was more of an hindrance to me than anything I was getting excited about. But the way these last 2 issues and all the events that have happened, I'm looking forward to seeing where people go from here and how this changes the Marvel Universe, because certainly events in this book and in this series will have massive ramifications on the Marvel Universe going forward. A bit of a moan is the price. I don't understand why they needed to put it up $1. It's $1, they put it up £1 in the UK extra, and they've had 12 issues. I shouldn't be penalised if they can't fit the story into 12 issues. Now, something like SpiderMan 700 is a special issue. I don't mind extra pages and an extra price, because it's a big issue, it's a special. You expect something special for them, but this is the final issue of a 12 issue run. I don't understand, if they need to finish the story, need extra pages, then they shouldn't charge extra. In saying that though, I felt the extra pages were well used, and really, you rounded out the story well. The art as well in this issue is gorgeous. It's no secret, I really like Olivier Coipel's run on this book, but Adam Kubert really brings his A game. Some great sequences and great usage of panels. I'm going to show you my favourite double page spread. This one here with Nova taking on the Dark Phoenix, which was good because we haven't seen him since issue 1, and I love this picture. If you look over here, you see Hope. Oh my god, doesn't she look badass in that picture? But all in all, yeah, I enjoyed the book. The series won't go down as a classic. I did enjoy it. The thing that really hooked me with this series was the whole things that I never expected to see. I never expected to see Captain America throw Wolverine out of a plane. I never expected the Phoenix 5. I never expected Cyclops to kill Professor Xavier. So a lot of it, and that was the thing, not knowing where this story was going, it made it exciting. It made it, well, what's going to happen here. And I felt the conclusion, really, I felt rewarded me for sticking with it for 12 issues. It will not go down as the best crossover event they've done, but I enjoyed it, and I'd give the book, issue 12, a thumbs up. Next up we have the Green Lantern, issue 13, as we continue the rise of the Third Army. The main focus of the story is on our new Green Lantern, Simon Baz. He's on the run now. Now he's got the ring. Government still think he's a terrorist, so they want to bring him in, and they're a bit more fearful of him now because now they've got this terrorist who has got a Green Lantern power ring. He goes back home to find his sister to try and prove his innocence. His sister, meanwhile, is, it's kind of been, suspended from her job because everybody thinks she's a terrorist now, like her brother. Her parents are in bits. They're like so ashamed and so upset, and you get to see the real ramifications of what happened in the Zero issue. Also in the background we have the Third Army rising up as they continue to assimilate more people into their ranks, and that's this nice bit of foreboding in the background that, I enjoyed this issue. I really like what Geoff Johns has done with the book, what he's done with the character. Simon Baz, he's a character you can empathise with, because he's not a bad man. He's a good man. He just makes bad choices. He tries to do things for the right reason, but I always remember saying that the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and I think that really sums up Simon Baz. He's just made bad choices in his life, but underneath it all he is a good guy and he does care, and I think that's why the power ring sort of found him out. It's going to be interesting to see where this Green Lantern goes. There's also a beef bit where there was a message in the ring from Hal Jordan and Sinestro, so it'd be interesting to see as he goes along, if that message comes out, and does Simon Baz hold the key to saving Sinestro and Hal Jordan wherever they are. But yeah, another good issue. Geoff Johns, I applaud. It was a ballsy choice a year ago to take the power ring away from Hal Jordan and put it on Sinestro, and then to team them up. That, two ballsy decisions, and now he's took the hero, killed him off, and replaced him with an Arab American, which a lot of people could have rejected, but he's done it in a great way. It doesn't feel exploitative. It ties into the story really well, and I'm just really enjoying this book. I feel they've really picked things up, and I'm looking forward to seeing the birth of this character. And the other thing for me is, I only came on to Green Lantern with Green Lantern Rebirth, so I've never seen a new Lantern come along before. We had 4, so this is exciting for me. The first time I've seen a new Green Lantern, sort of Earth Green Lantern, sort of come into the book. So this is an exciting time for me as a fan, and I'm going to keep getting this book, and I give it a thumbs up. Next up we have Legends of the Dark Knight. This is a collection of short stories. They were originally digital, as in, you read them on your iPad from the DC Comics site. And what they've done now is they've collected 3 of these stories and put them into this book. The stories are good. The first story is written by, I think his name's Damien Lindelof, and with art by Damien Lindelof, with art by Jeff Lemire. You've then got the second story, which is written by Jonathan Larson with art by J.G. Jones, and the final story is Tom Taylor with art by Nicholas Scott. I do like the art in the first story. I'm trying to get you the first page. This is the Jeff Lemire story, drawn by Jeff Lemire, art by Damien Lindelof. I really like. I really liked this story. Our second story is got art by it's got art by J.G. Jones, which I really enjoyed that. And then the final story is art by Nicholas Scott, which is really great. Now the observant of you out there may notice some of them costumes. This is not the New 52. This is set in the original DC universe. So this gives the book a unique selling point, because if you're one of them fans that feel DC sold you out, that you've been following them for years, and they've sort of took the characters you knew and loved away from you, this is a great book to pick up because it features that universe, which I think is a really clever and brave thing from DC's part to do, especially when they wanted so much to establish the New 52, to take something like this. And the format works for that, because it's just a series of short stories that aren't set anywhere in continuity, but yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Whether I'm going to pick it up every month, I'm not sure, because I generally try and stick to 2 Batman books, and so I don't know if I'll add this one to the lot, but it depends on the quality of the stories. I may, but I did enjoy this one. It's well worth a pick up, and I give it a thumbs up. Next up, we have Earth 2, issue 13, written by James Robinson, and with art by Nicholas Scott. This book was it was really good. The last issue we had the debut of the Atom. He thought he'd destroyed Grundy, but Grundy is back. So then we have our 4 heroes: the Atom, Green Lantern, the Flash, and Hawkgirl have to team up to try and defeat Grundy. Meanwhile, we're introduced to this organisation called the World Army, and let me get this guy's name right. It's Commander Dodds and his Sandmen. You get that at the beginning of the book, and we meet the World Army, and they have their own wonders working for them. We see the return of Terry Sloan, as he's brought in as an advisor to the World Army, and the leader of the World Army, Amir Khan, is not happy to see. He's not happy at all to see Terry Sloan. Meanwhile, on our main thing, Green Lantern's come up with a way to beat Grundy, but he needs his fellow heroes' help. But then he's given an impossible choice to make, an impossible temptation when he goes to battle with the Grey. Another great issue. I'm really enjoying seeing this world being built up, and these characters slowly come together, and you can see the beginnings of a team forming. I like the characters, you know. The Atom feels like an authentic character. He's from the army. I like, the Flash, his optimism, and very much Green Lantern's very much a take charge kind of guy. And I'm looking forward to finding out more about Hawkgirl. But all in all, this book was really good. I'm really enjoying, like I say, seeing James Robinson build this world and learning more about it. And I look forward to more. And give this book a thumbs up. Next up is issue 1 of Non-Humans, written by Glenn Brunswick, art by, I don't know if I can pronounce his first name, Wills Port Accio. This was one of the most imaginative books of the week. It is set in the future, in the year 2041, and a NASA probe has brought down this disease. And what it does is it makes inanimate objects come to life. So your dolls, your action figures, your mannequins, your teddy bears can all come to life. And imagination makes it more likely to happen. So things like TV and radio and internet have all been banned. Anything that encourages imagination has been banned. Kids have to take a drug called the brain freeze to stop them using their imagination. Otherwise, more non-humans will be created. And you've got this society now living with these mannequins, these non-humans who, want their own lives. So, and we're introduced into this world by our main character on the cover here, Detective, let me see if I can get it right, Detective Acme. Detective Ames, that's him. He doesn't like non-humans. His partner was killed by a non-human serial killer. He's trying to catch this killer, while at the same time he's divorced from his wife, doesn't really see his son much. And it's a pretty bleak existence. You imagine all the things, all the time that all of us waste reading comic books, watching TV, having the internet, looking on the internet, and even on your phones. And imagine suddenly you've got none of that. That's all been banned, and all you've got is work, and you can't use your imagination to think of how life could be better. So yeah, I like the premise of this. In the synopsis for it, it said this was like a cross between Blade Runner and Toy Story. Personally, I think it's more a crossover, like Blade Runner crossed with Child's Play, crossed with Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I say Who Framed Roger Rabbit because there were a lot of elements in this that felt like Roger Rabbit. There's the one bit where our detective goes to Plastic Town, where all the non-humans live, and that very much reminded me of Toontown from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Also, Detective Ames hates non-humans, and his character very much reminded me of Bob Hoskins' character from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You know, so it's an interesting book. There were so many great ideas in this book. I really enjoyed reading it. Whether you know, I looked on their website and it said this book's an ongoing, but everywhere else seems to say it's a mini-series. I don't know, does it have the legs to be an ongoing one? I certainly love the imagination of this book, but you know, I don't know, does this story, is this like a mini-series kind of idea? I'll be interested to see what they do with it in issues coming up, but I really enjoyed this book this week. It's well worth checking out. Image are doing a great job with the sheer variety of books they're putting out. It's just mind-boggling that not just the quality, that all their books they've seemed to be putting out lately have just been awesome in quality, but also the variety of subject matters and the type of comics you can read. It's not all costume superheroes, and you know, I like that. The art as well in this issue is really good. You know, an example of the art. It's well worth checking out. Well worth checking out. Give it a definite thumbs up and a big recommendation. Next up we have Animal Man, issue 13, written by Jeff Lemire, with art by Steve Pugh and Timothy Green II. This is Rotwell Part 1, The Red Kingdom, and Animal Man has seen that he's been gone for a year, and the rot have taken over the earth. He faces a dead Hawkman, who's now under the power of the rot. He gets saved and taken to the Red Kingdom to see what's left. All the time we're getting these flashbacks into the past to see what happened to his family after he went into the rot. And so I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was good. It sets this story up nicely. We don't know where Lemire's going to go. I like the art. I'm not usually keen on two artists, but here this scene is done by Timothy Green II, and it's the past, and this one's the present. And I thought it was a really good use of artists, because it really a bit more art there. Really good use of the artists, because it gives this different feel between the past and the present. So I really enjoyed that. I thought that was well done, because like I said, I'm not usually a fan of two artists, but yeah, I enjoyed this issue. Well worth checking out. If you've not been reading Animal Man, it is a good book, and I give it a definite thumbs up. And next up, Swamp Thing, which is the other half of Rotworld, where you have the Green Kingdom. Written by Scott Snyder with art by Yannick Paquette. This is very much similar to Animal Man in that Swamp Thing comes out of the rot. He meets up with Poison Ivy and Deadman, and at first they don't believe he is Alec Holland, the Swamp Thing. Then when they find out he is, Poison Ivy's really mad at him. They all think he's sort of deserted, but he didn't, you know. So they take him to what's left of the Green and sort of bring him up to speed on what's been happening. And then meanwhile we're getting a glimpse into the past and to what happened to Abigail Arcane. The art, once again, I really enjoyed for this issue. They very much try and use the panels, make them very organic, very plant-like, to sort of go in with our character, and I like that, and it works well. And I really enjoyed this book. My question with both of these books is this set in a regular DC universe? Because does this mean in a year everybody's going to die? Or is there going to be some kind of timey-wimey thing at the end of this story that's going to sort of rewind everything and set things back right? Be interesting to see, but I'm enjoying this book, and it's well worth picking up. Probably it's not as good as Snyder on Batman. That seems to be his best work at the moment, but Swamp Thing is still a very good title and well worth picking up, and I give it a thumbs up. Next up is my pick of the week, and this is a book that I haven't been enjoying a lot lately, but this issue saw that it go back to being good, and that is The Amazing Spider-Man, issue 695, co-written by Dan Slott and Christos Gage, with art by this name. I don't know if I can get this name right. You can never find a person's name when you need it. Here we are. Giuseppe Camuncoli. Oh, that wasn't so bad. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Peter, you know, everybody found out he was Peter Parker was Spider-Man. He confessed to the world, and he got Doctor Strange to use a spell. Strange cast that spell and made the world forget. But now the Daily Bugle are going to run the story on how he helps Spider-Man build all his weapons, and Peter doesn't want to be put with Spider-Man in that way, so he tries to get the story stopped because he's worried the spell's going to break. Meanwhile, the original Hobgoblin is stalking the new Hobgoblin, getting ready to take him out. Kingpin, Hobgoblin, and Ty Stone from Horizon Labs have got this device that from Spider Island where that will affect Spider-Man's spider sense, and they set this off, and while Peter is at the Daily Bugle, and it just totally freaks him out. Meanwhile, Madam Web is just having these horrible visions of the end coming, and you know, it's all, you know, building up nicely for issue 700. I really enjoyed the art in this issue. I do prefer Camuncoli to trying to find some action. I do prefer Camuncoli to Humberto Ramos. It's just a personal thing, you know. We all have the thing that we like. This is my favourite spread of the whole issue, and if you look carefully in the web, you have all these images of some of the Marvel Now titles, which is really good. But yeah, this book's really picked up good. I enjoyed the story, love the art, and definitely want to check out. If you've not been reading Spider-Man for a while, pick up this one. We're on the road now to 700. This is really kicking into high gear, the whole story that is gonna happen, and this is the best jumping on point. You don't want to get to 700, hear everybody raving about it, and then think, oh you know, I need to go back. Pick this one up, it's well worth it, and Spider-Man's back on top form, and give it a thumbs up. And it's also my pick of the week. Next up we have Planet of the Apes, Cataclysm, issue 2, written by Karina Becco and Gabriel Hardman, with art by Damian Chuchiro. Last issue, the moon got blown up and all chunks of moon rock will fall into Earth. This issue we deal with the fallout from that, as the apes are trying to get to safety and save people. Zaius is left the highest ranking official, and he sort of takes charge, trying to organise people. Meanwhile, his wife and daughter were visiting Priska, who was holding this campaign to stop vivisection of humans, and his daughter has gone into labour, so Priska is going to get help, but they're a bit afraid of her humans, so she has to put the humans in the loft and go out, and the reason she's going on her way to get the doctor, but on her way to get the doctor, she goes and saves these humans, but she gets bitten by one. Meanwhile, Cornelius, he tries to save another ape, as he's trying to make his way to safety. So you've got loads going on. There's also like a little sub-story with this Captain Barras, I think his name was. Barras. So there's a lot going on in this issue. We see things just getting worse and worse as things go on. As always, there's that little bit of social commentary, because it's a very rigid caste system that the apes live with. But you know, we've still got these mysteries dangling, but there's so much action going on here, we don't have time to really address any of the mysteries yet. I'm looking forward to seeing, I'm enjoying the series, looking forward to seeing where it goes. Well worth picking up if you're an Apes fan or just enjoy some good science fiction. The art as well, I think the art was good. It's a very difficult book, you know, to differentiate between the apes, but he does a good job by giving the apes each of a good, but also he gets a lot of emotion from the apes through their eyes, which, you know, would be a very difficult task, I imagine, but he manages it. But yeah, this was a good book, well worth picking up, and I give it a thumbs up. Next up we have Rorschach, issue 2 of 4, written by Brian Azzarello and art by Lee Bergimo. This issue, I really enjoyed this one. there's this scene at the beginning that felt the most authentic of Watchmen since these books come out. It was just a street with them walking down the street, but it felt very much like the world that Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons created. Now, in this one, last issue, Rorschach was left for dead, but he obviously didn't die. So now he's coming back, taking them out one by one. In between, he's sort of dealing with the injuries. We get to find out the name of this guy crime. His name is Rawface. Oh no, Rawhead. And we're still in the background. We're getting these mentions of the serial killer called the Bard. So you know, you've got these little things happening. I think the story's going to come together probably. All of these are going to link up. But I enjoyed this issue. We could see Rorschach go out and start getting his revenge, taking them out one by one. Yeah, and like I say, the art is gorgeous. And there's this one scene I'll show you here. This scene on the street, it just feels really authentic. Watchmen, just you know, from that book, without being like a copy and stuff we've already seen. But the art in this book is glorious. They do a really good job, and you get to see the characters and learn a little bit more about them. So yeah, I give this book a definite thumbs up, and I'm looking forward to seeing this series completed. Yeah. Finally, we got to the end, and it is Batman Detective Comics issue 13 with the new team of writer John Layman and art by Jason Fabok. The story sees the Penguin. He wants to become the top millionaire in Gotham. He wants to restore the Cobblepot name, and you know, wants some of the adulation that Bruce Wayne gets. So he hires these assassins called the Ghost Dragons to take out Bruce Wayne. But at the same time, he needs to make sure Batman doesn't interfere, so he creates some diversions for Batman. So Batman, with the help of Nightwing, he's running around taking out all these diversions, and it's really quite funny because these assassins the Penguin has hired, they're running around looking for Bruce Wayne, but they don't realise because he's keeping Batman really busy. Batman is Bruce Wayne. I really like that. I thought that was quite funny. And anyway, anyway, at the end of the issue, there are a couple of twists and turns at the end of the issue as Penguin's plans change, and he takes advantage of an opportunity, but then there's consequences to that. So I like this. I really like the representation of Penguin here. I don't know why, but every time I read Penguin talking, I could hear Danny DeVito's voice in my head. I don't know why. Because this is not that same kind of... Well, I know, it's got some of the traits of Danny DeVito's Penguin, because like in that he wants to restore his family name, and he wants back what he lost. But then on the flip side, he hasn't none of the animalistic ways. He's quite a you know, suave, debonair kind of chap. The backup feature sort of looks into Penguin's main henchman, Old Philly, and we get to find out a little bit more about him. I thought that was a really good usage of the backup feature. Just let us know a bit more about one of the lesser known characters in this book. I enjoyed this issue. I've been looking forward to seeing where we go next with it and with how it all ended up. I think a promising start for John Layman, and I did enjoy the book. On art, I did see if there's any. The art was good by Jason Fabok. I did enjoy that, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we go with all this. But yeah, a really good book. I think this is going to be my second Batman book now, and I think this will go on my pull list, and give it a thumbs up. So that's that then. So that's my books for this week. Thanks as always for watching. I will be back shortly with this week's review of the books that were released on the 10th of October. Like I said, as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.